All right, today we're going to dive into what has to be one of the most fascinating and honestly, one of the most relatable job negotiations in all of history. Seriously, it's this incredible story about a world-changing mission, some truly crippling self-doubt, and the kind of creative problem-solving that really forges a leader. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever been handed this massive opportunity, right? A huge responsibility? And your very first thought, deep down, was, nope, not me. There's no way. I am absolutely the wrong person for this job. That feeling, that little voice that says you're an imposter, that is exactly where our story kicks off. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our central figure, Moses, has just been given a task of truly epic proportions. He's supposed to lead his entire people to freedom. But he's immediately stopped in his tracks. And it's not by how huge the task is. It's by his own flaws, or at least what he thinks are his flaws. Now, let's really break down his protest here. He says, "O my Lord, I am not eloquent, for I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue." You notice what he's not saying? He isn't arguing about the danger or the logistics or anything like that. His whole objection is personal. It's all about this deep-seated insecurity he has with public speaking. Now, the response to this really human moment of doubt isn't just a simple, "oh, you'll be fine." Not at all. Instead, what comes back is this incredibly powerful counterargument that completely reframes the entire problem. And boom, this question just pivots the whole conversation. It's thrown right back at him. Who hath made man's mouth? Have not I the Lord? This is just masterful because it shifts the focus from Moses' human weakness to divine power. The subtext here is so powerful. It's basically saying, your limitation is completely irrelevant to the one who created you in the first place. And this right here just brilliantly illustrates the standoff. You've got Moses looking at his own resume, right? He's looking at his skills and his deficits, and he's coming up short. And on the other side, you have God pointing to the fact that he's the creator of the whole enterprise. It's this amazing clash between our perceived inadequacy and ultimate capability. And this wasn't just some philosophical point. It was immediately backed up with a direct offer of hands-on support. I will be with thy mouth and teach thee what thou shalt say. I mean, think about that. That's an incredible promise. It's divine coaching, real-time speech writing, basically the ultimate support system for the exact skill Moses feels he's missing. So you would think that would settle it, wouldn't you? A promise of direct divine help? But this is where the story gets so incredibly raw and, frankly, so relatable. Because even after this amazing promise, Moses' fear just wins out. And it leads to one last desperate attempt to get out of this whole thing. And there it is. Just, "oh my Lord, please send someone else." That's the sound of someone who is completely and totally overwhelmed. It's just the raw honesty of a person so convinced of their own inadequacy that they're willing to turn down a divine mandate. It's the ultimate "I quit before I even start." And that's the turning point. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses. You can feel the shift. Divine patience has just run out. The strategy of simple reassurance, it failed. The whole approach has to change right now. But here's what's so fascinating. What happens next? That anger doesn't lead to punishment, not at all. Instead, it sparks this brilliantly practical, almost human solution. It's a pivot away from trying to just erase Moses' fear to actually working with it. So what's the solution? Build a team. God proposes this partnership with two very distinct roles. Moses will still be the direct line to the divine. He's the voice. But his brother, Aaron, who it turns out is known to be a great speaker, will step in as the spokesman, the public-facing communicator. So now you have this really clear workflow. Step 1, God speaks to Moses. Step 2, Moses in private tells Aaron the message. Step 3, Aaron, using his natural gift, delivers that message to the people. It's a system that leverages Aaron's strength without ever undermining Moses' unique authority. It's brilliant. And the weight of this final line here, it's just immense. It totally defines the new hierarchy. Aaron shall be thy spokesman, sure, but Moses, you shall be to him instead of God. In other words, Aaron speaks for Moses just like Moses speaks for God. It's amazing. The solution to Moses' weakness actually ends up elevating his position. So what can this ancient dialogue really teach us today? Well, first, that feeling completely unqualified for something, that's a timeless, totally human experience. Second,
The best answer to a weakness isn't always about fixing it yourself. Sometimes it's about finding a partner whose strength fills that gap. And finally, great leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being smart enough to build a team that complements your skills.
And that really just leaves us with one final question to think about. In the parts of your life where you feel, slow of speech, where your own self-doubt is the loudest voice in the room, who is the Aaron to your Moses? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this one.